call Clayton Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm rising on behalf of New Zealand First in support of Paul Foster-Bell's supplementary order paper that's coming up in the next reading for his bill, the Sale and Supply of Alcohol Exemption for Royal New Zealand Return Services Association Clubs from Special Licensing Requirements from Anzac Day Amendment Bill. God, I'm sure we could shorten that a little bit, but that'll come up in the committee stage as well. Goodness me. That was about 1 minute just to get through the title, sir. Mr Speaker, it does come as no surprise to us that we are back here having this discussion, which we said would happen in just August of last year. It's like deja voodoo or a glitch in the matrix. In the matrix there's a bit of a glitch because we're coming back to something that we said would need to be readdressed in this House, and this is about the sale and supply of alcohol. And the reform and the architect, as it was so eloquently pointed out by Paul Foster-Bell, it was of course Miss Judith Collins, the honourable member there, and it does have some serious flaws in it that we need to readdress, and we would be certainly suggesting strongly that this government bring the entire bill back so that we can have a look at some of these unintended consequences which have been pointed out. This bill, the Sale and Supply of Alcohol Bill, is starting to resemble more of a Monty Python skit, or potentially a little wee skit from the Muppet Show where Kermit the Frog was singing about Lydia, oh Lydia, the tattooed lady, because there is so much legislation being put now into this legislation. There's a number of blotch marks that we are, for years to come, are going to have to go back through and refer to with regards to the sale and supply of alcohol. We're talking about the Rugby World Cup 2015 Amendment Bill, and of course now we're talking about the Anzac Day. Now, we do support the common sense approach to let the Anzac supporters, to let our RSA members, to those people that do support and hold and cherish the values of those return service people, to have a simple act of having a drink and a celebration. It's a celebration of the life that they have given up. It's a celebration of the lives and that they have fought for us all to enjoy. And absolutely, this is one of those moments in time where you couldn't have anybody other than somebody that is on a different planet think that this is not a special occasion. However, the current legislation does allow some interpretation to go a little bit askew, sir. And for some reason, we have had in the past some amendments put into these agreements, these licensing agreements for special licences that don't allow, for example, pool tables to be used on a special event, or that the event must be ticketed for, or the fact that you can't have live music being played through because the purpose of the event is for a celebration of the Anzac commemoration, or Anzac Day as it was, sir. And so this bill does address that. It even goes further to say that if there is in your local alcohol policy a one-way door policy, that will be negated in this policy, sir, because that does make sense. It does also allow drinking to establish itself at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, the overarching liquor licence says that the standard hours of operation, unless there's good reason to otherwise, is 8 a.m. until 3 a.m. Now, many of those councils have opted out of that and have actually shortened those hours even further. But again, rather than having an interpretation of a council or a police or the health department to say what is right, this is exactly what New Zealand First is saying. It should come back to the House for a proper review to make sure that the rules that apply in one area under one council actually apply across New Zealand, to give us some sort of continuity and some consistency, sir, and takes away that ambiguity. Now, we do acknowledge that there are 181 registered RSAs around New Zealand and some 104,000 odd members, broken down to. Anzac Day is a day of celebration, as I've already outlined, sir, and myself and my family will be attending as we do those Anzac celebrations, and we certainly would like to see this speedily read through the House today so that come the 25th of this month, sir, Anzac Day can be celebrated, and all Anzac Days forward from here without the sort of hassle and bureaucratic nonsense that has to go through in applying for a special licence application that has been happening up until now. Thank you, Mr Speaker.